Hope, hope, hope. Real hope. You guys have heard me say that. I'm going to show you today. Share this video. You're with your families this week and you're nervous. Every website you go to is scaring the heck out of you. And it should for a good reason, but have hope. It's working. Share this. Educate. I'm going to go over a lot. I hate to use the word cure. I should never do that. But I'm going to tell you there's some really exciting news coming out. I want you guys to follow with me on this. I have been doing, this is actually a hobby of mine. Yes, plastic surgery. I understand breast dogs, tummy tucks. I get it. But epidemiology, I love it. Microbiology, that was my passion back in college, okay? And if anyone, there's a lot of doctors that watch this, if any of you guys have any corrections, please post them. Let me know. We're a team in this together. We're also learning. I just recommended the whole ibuprofen thing. Turns out that might not be true. So we got more to talk about quickly. First of all, Italy is terrible, right? So many deaths. But let me tell you something. It's not as bad as you think. It's horrible for Italy. But for the rest of the world, I want you to understand, why is their death rate so high? Their death rate is high because they're so healthy. There's so many people in their 60s and 70s and 80s, 90s, beyond, that when they're catching the virus, and remember, they caught it a lot earlier than everyone, just because of some travel back and forth, and the elderly, they weren't ready. That's unfortunately what happened to them, because they got it so early in the elderly population. That's why the rates are so high, so don't think about that for the rest of the world. Second, China. And I know it's difficult to trust their media and the reporting, but they are reporting no new cases for 3 days in a row. Think about that. No new cases. The Apple stores have reopened all of their stores in China. I think, I don't know, whether 40 to 50 or so of these stores. That's a really good sign. Again, there's reports coming out of China. South Korea has really been a model country. They did a lot of this distancing, and they got ready really early, and they have flattened that curve that we keep talking about. And I think we're following that same model if you look at what South Korea is. And so I'm excited to see that. I think that's happening here, okay? So I do want to say, praise for all of our leaders, executive branch, all the legislative branch. I'm so proud they're coming together. Y'all, the Democrats, Republicans, let's be proud of what they're doing. The news outlets, let's show some pride for both the Democrats and Republicans. No more infighting. This is a time where we got to come together. I'm actually really proud of our politicians right now. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. This is what you need to be sharing with your friends and family. We also have here Dr. Nassiri, one of our fellows. Can you imagine I'm working on a Saturday here?
I know, right?
So, but he also his background is an OBGYN. We had a lot of questions about that one in particular, so he's going to chime in a little bit here. First of all, at-home testing kits have been now given the green light by the FDA, so you can actually order these now. That's really exciting. Cleveland Clinic, just as March 16th, developed the first test that appears that it's reliable within 2 hours. I've heard maybe tests that are going to try to get it even quicker than that. Why is that a big deal? Because if you know you got a little fever and sore throat and you quickly get a test within 2 hours, we can start doing treatment on that soon. That's huge, huge. Multiple studies have been, multiple antivirals and more, and now finally there might be an apparent breakthrough. You heard about hydroxychloroquine or chloroquine phosphate. This is more you think about plaque arthritis. This is more the one you think about the antimalarial, but they're very, very similar in how they work. But what I want you to know about these is when you combine these with azithromycin, wow. I know it's a small group, and you have to be careful as a physician because it's a small group, but early results are incredibly powerful with the reduction in the viral load. In fact, when they combined both of these in the study, the viral load went down to 0 in about 5 to 6 days. You got to be careful though, because when you use these in combo, it can cause an arrhythmia, what's called a QT prolongation. So anyone with heart disease arrhythmias, gotta be careful, gotta be monitored when you combine those two. Don't just willy-nilly just combine those two. You gotta be very, very careful, okay? There's one antiviral, remdesivir, that shows incredible promise right now, but they'd really have to, incredible promise, but they'd have to really ramp up production of this one, so not immediately available. But just imagine if we slow down everyone getting this. This is why it's working. Hang in there, they're gonna be able to do this. Even the antiviral that we commonly know as Tamiflu might be helpful. Question mark on that one. question mark on a certain type of blood pressure medicine, what are called angiotensin receptor blockers. If you look at that whole pathway of this one certain pathway that we have blood pressure, and you look at this ACE2 and how it actually binds, it turns out that this coronavirus is actually binding and using that whole receptor mechanism to actually get into the cell. So there's some thought that can these angiotensin receptor blockers actually prevent it? There's some studies going on this. I think, I'm not sure which of the drugs in particular, but basically all the ones that end in sartan, which are the ARBs, they're looking at those as a potential also helpful. Also taking the recovered plasma, so from patients that have actually recovered, taking the plasma, they're looking at using that as well. So we have things that are absolutely appearing to work, exciting, and many more it looks like coming, so hang in there. This is what I mean. Okay, we also had some questions in regards to what about moms, all right? So we have an OBGYN who's doing our fellowship with us here. Again, we don't have 100% data, but what's your thought on this so far?
So first of all, sorry for the sporty look. Dr. Deal was generous enough to let me use his gym in the midst of all his gym closers and so forth. But we had some questions regarding the breastfeeding, what moms can do, can they breastfeed, can they not? So much of this is still unknown. Of course, this is new. Nobody, has done extensive studies on it. But the current recommendation, based on the CDC, is they really don't have one if the mom is confirmed coronavirus exposure and she's infected. However, they do say if it is a confirmed case, then go through the proper protocols, hand washing. They know it's transmitted through respiratory droplets. So you can continue breastfeeding, however, make sure you wash your hands, you don't expose the child, maybe have someone in the household who's not infected or someone who's well feed the child the milk, and really contact your local health provider and see if the risks, outweigh the benefits and so forth. Yeah. That's really what it is. They don't know if you're pregnant. For example, based on the limited studies they've done, they haven't seen the virus to be transmitted to the breast milk, and they're really not sure if this can cause any effects to the fetus. However, the preliminary studies and the research haven't really shown, but it's too early to say. So if you are an exposed mom and a confirmed case, the best thing to do, contact your health provider and go through the regimen. Wash your hands, make sure the fetus doesn't get exposed. Maybe give someone else to feed the infant. Otherwise, there's really not too much concrete data on it yet. Obviously, then there are regular contraindications. Remember, if you have the flu, you can breastfeed the infant. So, there you go.
All right. So next thing, we had some videos talking about Tylenol and ibuprofen, and everyone was saying, stay away from ibuprofen, stay away from ibuprofen, Tylenol's the way to go. Well, now the World Health Organization's come out, they've looked at all these studies, they've looked at all the research, talked to doctors everywhere. They're not seeing enough data to support the fact that ibuprofen is making it worse. So now they're coming out and saying it should be fine for either. So again, you can see how that changes day by day. You can see one of my earlier videos. Vaccine progress. There's a lot of places all over the world that are working on different vaccines, and I also see that they're talking to each other, they're sharing the research so much. It's going quick. It's being made. In fact, I'm going to put a link in my bio, in particular for this one guy, Dr. Glanville. I think it was an article I saw on Fox News, incredible. He's actually engineering antibodies themselves, and he believes very soon, he's going to be able to engineer these antibodies that will actually attack and kill the virus. So not waiting on a vaccine, in other words, where your body has to make them. They're actually giving you the antibodies right then and there. How is he doing that? He's using supercomputers, and he's using the antibodies that we already know that were made from SARS and MERS, modifying them just a little bit so it recognizes the coronavirus. Incredible research. So now that you've heard all this, and particularly the big news with these two drugs, this hope is not unfounded. Being careful, the social distancing, the washing of the hands, it's working. I know every time you turn on the news, it looks scary. But if you slow it down, it looks like there's going to be a hospital bed for you. If you guys can slow it down, we are going to have better medicines. And ultimately, we are going to have that cure. And I fully expect our economy to recover like it never has before. So, everyone out there, have some peace, sleep well, and have a great weekend with your family and friends.